Game over.
Welcome to Bruta Games. I am Big Bruta, and today we are playing Pokemon Showdown. If you guys don't know what Pokemon Showdown is a battle simulator for Pokemon. This is an online competitive battle scene, and so there's multiple metagames that we can all play on. But I'm going to focus mainly on the C.a.p and lab metagame. I'm going to go over the lab metagame some other time. This video is going to be specifically on introducing the C.a.p metagame to people who don't know what it is. And so yeah. So I have 3 teams that are example teams that C.a.p actually gives to you. They're made by some common C.a.p users, and so I'm going to go over the 3 main basic ones. And now this one's Dark Slay's Commodore offense team. And so with it, basically, it's a win condition team. Basically, you have Commodore here, and your job with this whole team is to make sure that he can sweep. That's pretty much the goal of this team, and overall, its job is simply to remove counters directly related to Commodore. Commodore here is the main focus of this team, and therefore I'm going to talk about it first. Commodore here is a steel flying type that uses Belly Drum to its best use. You can run Voltazorb, Intimidate, or Big Pex. Intimidate helps set up easier, but Voltazorb just takes away your weakness, which is just too good of an ability. Having only one weakness to fire, that's mono weakness, is just so good. And so that's usually why people run Voltazorb on this thing. Intimidate is another choice, but you can tell when someone has Intimidate. So usually if you don't have an Intimidate go off, it means they're a Voltazorb Commodore, so you don't have to hit with lightning at all. Anyways, it runs Citrus Berry because every Belly Drummer uses Citrus Berry, and it's pretty simple. You run Belly Drum, then your health goes halfway, Citrus Berry activates, and from there, then you get Acrobatics working, because Citrus Berry goes away, and then Acrobatics activates, making this a 110 power flying move, which is very good. It's like 10 points under Brave Bird without any recoil, so that in itself makes Commodore very useful. After the Belly Drum, this thing becomes a freaking monster because it has 118 speed and 92 attack really isn't that much, but after a Belly Drum, your attack set doesn't matter. It's pretty much going to be amazing anyways. But that 118 speed with 110 no recoil move, that in itself is enough to like just obliterate half the teams in the metagame. If things are faster than you or have a focus sash, there's Bullet Punch as well, which lets it counter that even better. And then the most amazing thing about this whole setup is that it has Drain Punch. That is just like the finishing thing that makes Commodore so amazing. Because once you like get worn down by eventually taking hits and all that stuff going on, you can just Drain Punch. And with that attack set so high, Drain Punch is pretty much the same thing as Roost, if not more. So this is just amazing in general. The only issue with it is getting that Belly Drum up because it has very weak special defense. Its physical defense is okay, but usually it's not invested in, so it's not that amazing. Overall, it's very hard to set up a Belly Drum with Commodore, and therefore you need to have your team set up. But once everything is set up, Commodore can sweep teams easy as pie. So this team's focus is that. We have Tomahawk here, and in the C.a.p metagame, Tomahawk is God. They call it God-a-Hawk. It is just the best thing in the tier because it's amazing diversity in its support move pool. It has Stealth Rocks, it has Haze, it has Reflect, it has Roost, it has Protect, it has Substitute, it has Taunt, it has Toxic, it has Whirlwind. It can just do literally anything you need it to on a support team pretty much. Its stats, not that amazing, but with everything put together, including Prankster, this is the thing that makes it amazing. It has such a good support move pool, and then it has Prankster on top of it. With those two things together, Tomahawk is just amazing. Because with Prankster, you can get Stealth Rocks guaranteed pretty much. And with Prankster, you can get your health up before the opponent hits you, which makes your bulk better. if the opponent has a huge amount of stats boosting on you, for example, an opposing Commodore, this is why Tomahawk needs to be got rid of before Commodore sweeps, because he can come in here and go haze before you can even hit him with a bullet punch. And after that, it's just, you don't have any boosts. You've wasted a quarter of your health and you have no boosts, and guess what? You stink now. And Tomahawk can flat out wall you. And that's the point of Tomahawk. Tomahawk just can come in and shut down anything it needs to. It is just such an amazing Pokemon, and you have to have a counter for this thing. It's on 50% of the teams, and you have to make sure it's gone. It is so important to many teams, and they're going to try to protect it. Its ability to heal and put rocks up, remove hazards. It has Rapid Spin, by the way, which is just insane. It has Rapid Spin, it has Stealth Rocks, it has Roost, it has Hazer, it has Reflect, and it's just, Baton Pass. Oh, so good. Anyways, and then Air Slash. Air Slash is just its attack move pool, so it can't be Taunt Bait, which Tomahawk usually is because it has so many great things. But because it has 115 special attack, Air Slash actually does a decent amount of damage, and you don't have to really invest in it, so it's like, it's amazing. Yeah, counter Tomahawk at all costs. But anyways, you have Tomahawk right here, which helps set up hazards for your team, which is definitely important, and deal with any opposing sweepers that might threaten the team. Vaporeon right here is just meant to keep the rest of the team healthy with Wish, Scald, Heal Bell, Protect. Yeah, that's the set, yeah. And then we have Colosoil here, who has Earthquake, Sucker Punch, Knockoff, and U-Turn. Colosoil is another very important mon in the C.a.p Metagame. It is an amazing physical attacker and is on a lot of teams. But I don't see it as immediately dominating as Tomahawk. Tomahawk is just so good, you have to really counter it. Colosoil, though, is a major thing, and you have to think about it definitely when creating a team. It usually runs Assault Vest, as is here, because its health stat is so ridiculously huge that you can simply invest in the regular defensive stats, and it has plenty of bulk, and with Assault Vest, it can take a huge amount of hits. Right here, with 72 defense, it's 133, 72 defense is not that amazing, but with the Assault Vest and 176 investment, it can really tank a lot of special hits, and with 80, it can survive a Landorus superpower, so that's very important, because Landorus usually tries to set up hazards. With this team, he's running Guts on this one. Guts is very good, as you know, with Conkeldurr and everyone. They all switch into it. He switches in, and if you burn him, poison him, or you can't paralyze him because he's a ground type, but burn him or poison him, he gets an attack boost, and that makes him even more deadly. So, the good thing about this set is that he can't be burned. His other set he runs is Rebound. Rebound is great, especially if you want to switch into hazards or you don't want hazards up on your side. With this team, I don't know if he doesn't have anything to get rid of hazards. Yeah, but usually you can, if you want to get rid of hazards, you'd run Rebound Colosoil because he can switch into the hazards and bounce them. Rebound is a custom ability, but it's pretty much magic bounce, but it only works on the first turn. So with this, he can switch in and block the hazards, which is useful. But this set is running Guts for a good reason. You can switch in anytime something is about to be burned or whatever, and it can take it for you. I personally like Rebound more, but Guts does work. So here is then he has Gothel. Gothel is simply to take out certain things that you might not want on the team. As a Shadow Tag user with the choice specs, it's just going to hit hard and get rid of the things that you don't want to deal with. And then pretty simple set there. Charizard right here. You got this. Wait, let's just explain this. It's got Trick. You switch on the choice specs to something you can't take on. It's crippled, and you can continue to beat it up. So that's pretty useful as well. Psy Shock, Shadow Ball, Energy Ball. The reason why it runs Energy Ball over Thunderbolt is because Gothel is a huge, not lure, but Colosoil just wants to switch into Gothel. So after you kill something, there is a very good chance that if the opponent has a Colosoil, it's going to come in right after. And this can Pursuit you, because it has Pursuit. This set's not running Pursuit, but it does have Pursuit. And therefore it can stay in here and Pursuit you, and Gothel's gone out of the game. And so because of that, Energy Ball is here. So if, for example, you tricked the opponent when it died, you have access to your other moves. And you can Energy Ball the Colosoil, and it will not switch in on you, compared to Thunderbolt, which then it just literally just obliterates you. So that's the reason that he runs Energy Ball. Charizard then here is just a regular bulky Charizard set. There's not more explaining to do really. It's just a really good bulky Pokemon that can come in on things that these can't. So yeah. Then I already explained Commodore, and that's the team pretty much. It's pretty much his job is to have these Mons out, get rid of the counters that Commodore can't deal with by itself, and then at that point find the right time to send in Commodore and set up that belly drum. And once that belly drum is set up and its counters are gone, the team's over. The game's over. There's nothing the other team can do. Commodore will literally just run through them, and that's the point of this team. It's a very powerful win condition team, and as long as you set up Commodore in the right time, it's a very good team. The next team we have here is a Mega Pinsir team by Tadasuke. Now, with this team, we have Landorus, which is a very powerful threat in C.a.p because of its ability to run Psychic and Earth Power. This is still pretty much blocked by Colosoil unless it runs Focus Blast. But even then, with the Assault Vest Focus Blast, I don't think KOs. Let me check real quick. Yeah, Focus Blast still doesn't one-shot Colosoil. So, yeah, with this, Landorus is really powerful, and the only thing that really can not die from Landorus in the C.a.p trio is Colosoil, because Earth Power obliterates Cycle Helm, and Psychic obliterates Tomahawk. So Landorus, for that reason, is very useful in this metagame. Then we have Mega Pinsir. It is just an amazing Pokemon, as everyone knows. It just needs to be set up correctly, and they can sweep through teams as well. This is another WinCon team, as you can tell. With this, the main thing that you want to remember about Mega Pinsir in the C.a.p metagame is that it can obliterate Tomahawk, and that's very important. Although Tomahawk can Air Slash you, it can outspeed you, and because of that, with Quick Attack, that's super effective, boosted by Aerialate, and if you have a Sword Dance up, Tomahawk's going to have a big issue dealing with you. And because of that, you can really deal with it. And then Psycho Helm on top of that is weak to Earthquake, and if you're at +2 or +3, Psycho Helm's going to have a hard time staying alive. Although Psycho Helm can take your Earthquakes, and Lightning can hurt you, so you should be careful with Psycho Helm. You can't just come in and set up on and go, hee hee hee, I'm going to kill you. That's just not a good idea. But Pinsir is very useful, as he can threaten the C.a.p trio once he has a Swords Dance up. So he's very useful, and as you know, he's just very powerful in general, and that's why he's a good attacker. Then you have Cycle Helm here. Cycle Helm is another Pokemon that I haven't talked about yet. We got Colosoil and Tomahawk covered, but Cycle Helm is the third member of the C.a.p trio, and it is a tank. It is very good at taking hits physically. Its defense is amazing. 108, 118 is just mind-blowing. On top of that, it's a Dragon Electric type, meaning it has plenty of resistances. It's weak to Fairy and Ground, which is a big issue in the C.a.p metagame with Colosoil and Fairies running rampant. So as you notice, Tomahawk is weak to Fairy, Colosoil is weak to Fairy, and Cycle Helm is weak to Fairy. Meaning all three are weak to Fairy. That's why Fairies are a huge thing in this metagame. And you should definitely have counters for them, because pretty much if you use any of these C.a.p trio Pokemon, there's pretty much a good chance that the opponent with a Fairy type is going to do serious damage to them. I run Choice Spec Sylveon just to deal with these Pokemon. So if you're running these guys, remember to have a Steel type to deal with the Fairies. Anyways, back to Cycle Helm. Cycle Helm himself is a very powerful tank Pokemon. 112 special attack. Not the best, but definitely far from crappy. He has solid defense, as I said before, and with Slack Off, he has a recovery move, and Heal Bell lets him heal the team. So with Slack Off and Heal Bell, he can heal the team and act somewhat as a Pseudo Cleric. So that in itself is amazing. Then on top of that, he has plenty of offensive potential, and with Thunderbolt and Flamethrower, he can counter Commodore, and that is the biggest thing about Cycle Helm is that Commodore is a big threat once he gets his boosts up, but Cycle Helm can deal with it as well as Tomahawk. Cycle Helm, Tomahawk can't switch in to Commodore, but after Commodore's killed something on your team, you can switch in and haze him, and then instantly Commodore isn't useful, and Tomahawk can wall it. Not wall it, but it's enough to not make it a threat anymore. Anyways, Cycle Helm here is the same thing when it's not set up. If you send this thing in before it belly drums, there's nothing Commodore can do. And really, it can sometimes even take hits from it when it's set up. And that's the amazing thing, because acrobatics and bullet punch don't do anything to this because it resists it and has incredible defense. So its last move to do to you is Drain Punch, which isn't a stab and is about 75 damage. So it doesn't usually KO you, but with your health it will recover a lot, so that's a big issue. However, with Flamethrower here, the only weakness that Commodore can't cover, you can hit it severely. You have a 10% chance to burn, and you even have a chance to completely cripple it. So